So about 15 minutes from the Woodlands, there's a luxury community out here in Spring that you can get humongous mansions like this one from 70-foot on up wide lots. And these are some of the prettiest models that I have ever seen in the Houston Metro. This is a community called Woodson's Reserve out here in Spring, just off of 99, in the midst of a bunch of development. The Highlands is just to the east of us. To the north of us, you have a host of Conroe communities, but this is the premier community in Spring, Texas right now. And it kind of plays that happy medium of places that are people that want to live in the Woodlands, but don't quite have the opportunity to build over there with such limited communities where you can do that. We just reviewed one of those on the channel that is called Enclave at the Woodlands, but that's pretty much it for wanting a house that is this big, that looks like this in the middle of the trees. You pretty much have to settle for a Conroe or Spring, and this is the best one doing it in Spring, Texas. We're gonna go and check out the two builders here. We got Tri Pointe and we have Toll Brothers. Both are gorgeous builders out here in the luxury space in Houston. If that sounds good, stay tuned. So before we get started, this is a little bit of a step up in community from the standard community that you would see out here in Spring. They are usually not this big. They are usually not this planned and developed and have this much infrastructure from a commercial standpoint, as well as the ability to build so many homes. What you typically see out in the Spring area is kind of like more so an entry-level price point push, where this is really focusing on the luxury. I think the smallest footprint that you can get here is a 50-foot. Tri Pointe is going to open up a 50-foot section here in a little bit. I think they sold out of their original section, but for the most part, it's basically a bunch of houses just like these that are 70, 80 foot plus wide, and they are really estate style luxury little mansions back here. And the crazy part is most of these are starting well under $1 million. I would say for a house that is this wide, to have a starting price point that is somewhere around $700,000 is unheard of in other parts of the world. But out here in Spring, Texas, you can get it going. So now, enough of that yapping. Let's actually go in here and check out some of these beautiful model homes by Tri Pointe and Toll Brothers. And at the end, hit me down in the comment section down below and let me know which one is your favorite. And before we do that, there are two big boys from Toll Brothers that we can't quite see, but they got one at the front of the community that is still chef's kiss beautiful. But I will be back to get those two models from Toll Brothers that we can't quite see yet. This one behind me, the Stelvio, has the two staircases going up, which is fairly unique for the Houston Metro. You don't really see that too often, so I definitely will be back for that one. Now this is a little different for the Houston Metro. You usually don't get this until you get to these kind of more estate style sort of lots where you have a little pass through kind of carport area for additional parking, and then you have your garage kind of tucked off of the back of the house, but again with some more spaces back here for parking and things of that nature. You also would have your third car bay over here, so definitely not the most common because we don't have a lot of communities that are actually this wide. But when you get out here and you get a little bit more space, you get some great features like that. But let's get back into this house. But so far, I'm super impressed with Tri Pointe. They have been like a go-to for people that want really big houses throughout the metro. Some of their more popular areas right now are out in the Cypress area and Dunham Point, and there's a couple more just kind of sprinkled out around Houston. But this is one of their best one-story plans that I have ever seen, and I'm loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. So like they tend to do, they tend to hit, like I said, that luxury and grand style home in whatever community they're in. They are typically not in communities where you have a ton of other builders. They usually, throughout the community, from what I've seen over the last few years, tend to partner up with Toll Brothers. I think they kind of complement each other well. And this is no different. Gorgeous home, one of the best one-story layouts that I have ever seen in the Houston metro. But of course, that's to be expected. This is a $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 house when it's all decked out, right? So gorgeous, gorgeous home. I'll probably have to bring the missus back out here just to see what this looks like. But yeah, this is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But now let's go and check out their bigger home right next door from Tri Pointe. And so as we head on over to the 80-foot section, kind of the thing to note, especially whenever you're in a luxury community like this, sounds like they got some cement trucks behind me, but whenever you're in a luxury community like this, the pricing tends to follow the lot sizes. And so what does that mean? That means if you have a 50-foot lot, you typically are going to have houses anywhere from like that low 5s to about 6. When you get to that 70-foot lot, kind of like that one down there, you're going to have houses from that low 7s all the way until about 8, 9. And when you get to the 80 foots, you're going to have houses in about that low 800 to up to $1 million, right? That's just kind of how it tracks. And the more luxury and the more desired the community is, the more closely it follows that. There are some exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, the footprint width of the home is kind of going to dictate the starting price of majority of the offerings that you would have in that community. And they're following that pretty much well with Tri Pointe over here. But now let's go into their bigger house model over here. So keep that one that we just saw in mind, gorgeous one-story. Let's go check out this one and see if it knocks out the one that we just saw. Gorgeous so far. Oof. So that would be off of your third car garage bay over there. Opens up. A ton of natural light. Basically a wall of windows. We'll get up there to the game room in a second, but let's just take our time down here. Nice wood floors. No formal dining, but you got enough space for an informal, nice size, huge table. Let's look at this kitchen. Humongous island. Tons of cabinetry. Tucked away laundry laundry. A nice size pantry. Liking what I'm seeing, Tri Point. Tons of closet space. And lots of natural light. All these windows is making my camera go crazy. Tons and tons and tons of natural light all the way throughout. So now we go check out upstairs. It appears as though, just like one of my favorite Tri-Point models in Dunham Point, we have like a little bit of a secret room up here. This one is about the same size as the one in Cypress, but just enough space to have like a little office, store some stuff, whatever you want to do. But that is a pretty cool feature for the Houston Metro, which the only people I've seen do that so far have been Tri-Point. Yeah, this feels almost identical to the one that's in Dunham Point. It's probably the same layout, but I feel like the space up here feels a little bit different, and the media room space feels a little bit tighter over here, but sometimes there's small variances between different communities, even on the same plan. So I would not be shocked if this was the same plan that's in Dunham Point out in Cypress over here, with just a couple little tweaks here and there. But another gorgeous home from Tri-Point. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Tri-Point. They have definitely converted me to looking at them in the luxury space, for sure. But now, as we head back to the car so I can take you on over to the Toll Brothers plan, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that matter the most to you. Taxes, overall barrier of entry, as well as school districts. So the average person that is coming out here to buy a home that is going to be of this kind of caliber, you are for the most part going to be looking at a house that is going to be anywhere from like the 50-foot section, like I mentioned earlier, around 500,000 to somewhere around $1 million, depending on, you know, kind of how crazy, how big, how luxurious you're trying to go. And that's all going to depend on you. The overall theme, though, is that, like I mentioned in the previous segment, the width of the home is basically going to dictate the starting point of whatever you are looking at out here, and you got a ton of options. Overhearing some of the Tri-Point guys talking to some people kind of walking in and out, they're about to open up a 50-foot section. They have some lots that you can still build kind of in and around over here right now. So there's still tons of availability for Tri-Point. We'll get that info for Toll Brothers when we get to their side as well, but I'm coming in and I'm seeing a ton of signs for both. So definitely a ton of growth and opportunity over here. As far as tax rate goes, it's right around 3.2. I think it's technically 3.18 or 3.19. Like many places, I expect this to go down a little bit, so you'll probably be right above 3. Many of the surrounding suburbs had a recent property tax drop, and so I would expect the same for over here. Most of the places don't have their published data yet for the new tax rate. And like I said, so to expect a house that is, you know, 700,000 or so, if the county sees that house appraised at that value, you're going to pay somewhere around $21,000 for taxes on a year. And so if you don't have specific homestead exemptions or VA exemptions that are going to greatly reduce your property tax, you need to expect to pay somewhere around 3%. The last thing to note, Conroe ISD, this is a solid school district. It is definitely not what I would say probably the most sought after school district up here. You know, when you look at Conroe ISD, kind of like all really big ISDs that service a lot of people, it's going to be very neighborhood, very area specific. The houses or the schools tied to this specific community are fairly solid and more desirable in the Conroe ISD from what I've seen. But I would say that it's still not your Sci-Fair, it's still not your Katy ISD on average, just the numbers just aren't quite there. But some of these schools are super solid, and the ones tied to this community have been very solid from what I've seen. But now let's hop on in the car and head back on over to the Toll Brothers model that is open. I think you're gonna really love that one. Just wait until you see the inside of this beautiful home. Toll Brothers is going to be, this section is gonna be a between 70-foot and 80-foot product out here. They're going to be anywhere from the high sevens all the way up to over $1 million, just depending on what you need. There's also a smaller section, the 60 foots, that's going to be in that high sixes and going up to about 8 depending on the house. But just wait until you see the inside of this one. I think that you're going to love it. Let's go check it out. Huge office. Got a little atrium area, crazy. I've seen a couple new marks do this. This is my first time seeing the Toll Brothers do the little atrium look. And this would be off of like your third car tandem bay or a little storage over there, however you want to use it. But gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous per usual for Toll Brothers. Got a couple people inside, so I'll try to dodge them a little bit. But let's go check out the kitchen and the rest of the family room. So per usual, Toll Brothers just doing what Toll Brothers does, just a beautiful luxury, more modern, high-end home. And that's why I love Toll Brothers. One of my favorites for sure. They just do it. And this is just the first floor that you're seeing right now. Let me let you see this bathroom right now. Crazy. The details, the touches. hard to be the Toll Brothers out here in the Houston metro. It's hard to do. Natural light kind of throughout, details and touches throughout. Let's go check out the second story and let me know what you think about that one. Crazy, friends. It is crazy. Let's go check out some of these bedrooms. What do you think? I don't have much to say on this one. Crazy, 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 crazy. So that home was gorgeous. Tell me what you think between the first two Tri-Point homes and this Toll Brother home. Which one does it for you from a style point and a layout overall, just like beauty of a home? Toll Brothers just has a hold on my heart, but I do think that both of those layouts for a Tri-Point were outstanding and great options depending on what your price point is. For houses that are this size, for houses this size that we have seen today, you're going to be anywhere from that high sevens all the way up to $1 million, just depending on how crazy you go, but definitely can't miss with that. Right now, I'm going to go drive by some of the amenities just to kind of show you what you have in the community. This is a full-blown planned community out here that has commercial infrastructure as well as amenities that you can check out within the community. And so definitely some benefits to being in a community like this, where you have your own pools, you have your own parks, walking trails, and commercial support all in your area. So we'll go swing by some of those right now, just so you can check out what you got in Woodson's Reserve. So as far as amenities go, there's a lot here. There's not only the stuff that you have inside of your community, which include your walking trails and your parks and your pool. You also have a gym here. I'm standing in front of where your gym is right now in the main amenity center. And so there's a ton here. And one of those amenities that is crazy that I have to call this an amenity, especially at a price point of above $500,000, but sidewalks kind of throughout the community. You know, and many times you'll see that, yes, a community may have really great walking trails or a water feature that you can walk around, but to get there, you have to walk in the street. And in this community today, I saw a bunch of kids kind of riding their bikes on the sidewalk, and that was a welcome change for me. Also, just outside of the community, right at the gates, you have some commercial infrastructure. I believe I saw a coffee shop, a little restaurant, and just some things that you can enjoy right before you have to get back onto 99. And then as you get on the 99 and you're in between here and that Porter New Caney area, the Highlands, you got a movie theater, you have restaurants galore all up and along that 99 in between here and there. And so the commercial standpoint, the location that you are, the ease of getting on to 99 make this a great location. But what do you think? Would you be willing to move to Spring for one of these gorgeous homes that I showed you today and the amenities that you see behind you right now? Is it enough? If so, if it's anything that you have questions about, whether it's availability, builders, incentives, anything that you want to know, give me a call, text, email, hit the comment section down below and let me know what questions you have and how I can better serve and assist you. If you loved this community and you're thinking about maybe venturing outside of Spring and seeing what you have to offer that is similar to this, then I definitely know that you're going to love this video right here.